Hey guys, it's Reagan, and today I'm going to be, unfortunately, doing the Rise of Skywalker review. So I know, guys, I promised you to do a live stream after I saw it on the 18th in Paris, but I honestly already knew the plot by that point, so my reaction wouldn't have been that great. Also, I missed my showing in Paris because of the metro strikes and the terrible traffic, so I saw it in Madrid though last night, and I'm leaving Madrid literally right after I record this video. I'm gonna leave Madrid to go to Copenhagen on my way back to America. But I'm just gonna tell you guys that this movie is something that I really wanted to love. I went into this movie, I really wanted to love it. I was very excited this whole year, watched all the press tour, kept up with it, watched what the cast said, and a lot of it was just lies. I think it makes total sense that Adam Driver skipped out on most of the press tour because, I mean, okay. And then also, it is just completely disrespectful, and I think that I don't know what George Lucas thought after seeing this. He probably thought, I don't even know, like, I would feel so bad if I was George Lucas and I saw this film. The disrespect this movie showed to Rian Johnson, George Lucas, Adam Driver, Carrie Fisher, like, every Skywalker and Solo, like, it was just awful. This movie disrespected all the previous 8 films. And JJ retconned so much of the sequel trilogy, even from The Force Awakens, that this movie itself was just an utter mess. I think at best, this movie was a joke. At worst, it felt like JJ was killing me with a Swiss Army knife, and so every single cut was something that maybe the audience kind of wanted, but was executed in the absolute worst way. The biggest villain of this movie wasn't Palpatine, it was J.J. Abrams' ego for being like, I'm gonna shock you, and I'm also gonna just don't give a shit about the legacy characters or the Skywalkers, and I'm just gonna make my characters whatever. And he just destroyed, like, everybody's character arc. I don't care who you like, it's just, okay. Like, in this movie, everyone just kind of did whatever. It felt like a video game, and honestly, felt like Mario and Luigi, like, no lie, at some points. I laughed in the theater, I gagged in the theater, and I was just like this so much. I was like, no. And yeah, so that's basically my non-spoiler part of it, and let's get into some spoilers. I could talk about this movie for so long, but I'm gonna keep it short. I am a super big fan of Ben Solo, and I love Ben Solo, I love Rey, and let me tell you, both those characters were extremely disserviced. First of all, let's talk about Rey. So for me, I think that the Rey Nobody plot was a better plot than this Rey Palpatine plot. Because one, it like showed that Rey, anything that she is because of Palpatine, and so she got all her power from Palpatine, and it like just made her character into nothing. Like, all she cared about was like being a Palpatine, And literally when people, in my theater though, I didn't like my audience, but they laughed when it was revealed she was a Palpatine because it's literally a joke. Because it's like someone would get with this man. No, it doesn't really make sense with the timeline. Pablo Hidalgo, before he left, Pablo Hidalgo, if you don't know, is like the master of the story group. Is like the leader of the story group, I don't know why I said master, in Lucasfilm, and he said that Palpatine had no kids in canon. And so then, because of the leaks, because this film was on the subreddit of Star Wars leaks for months, because it was leaked by Nurse and Burger King, because this movie is horrendous. And I can see why it was leaked, because if I was working on this movie, I would want the audience to be prepared for this utter disaster. So it just didn't really make sense. And also her parents selling her to slavery to protect her. That didn't make sense at all. Okay. Also, the fact that, like, they're like, she's not on Jakku, like, whatever. To the Jedi killer, like, it would not have been hard at all to find her. I mean, it, you know. And, like, her, like, Palpatine just being like, you're the kill, strike me down in anger, you're supposed to inherit it. That's not really in Palpatine's arc. Palpatine is extremely selfish. So why the hell would he want to be killed just so someone can take over his lineage? That's why it doesn't make sense that Palpatine would have a kid. It's just utterly a disaster. Like, Rey, that's all her character's about, her being a Palpatine. And like, you could have done Dark Rey without Rey being a Palpatine and her just being extremely frustrated because like the light side is led to like nothing. She's really down on the First Order and whatever. And then she starts using some dark side powers. But also this movie just made her extremely powerful. And it was like, okay, you know what I mean? It was like, all right, so like, I like Rey, but we'll talk about my favorite character. The character that was probably hurt the most is obviously Ben Solo to me. I've always loved Kylo Ren, and Ben Solo, like, well, really, I didn't like Kylo Ren in The Force Awakens because he acted like a child. But then because of The Last Jedi, I really fell in love with this character because it was so much more human, and you saw his vulnerabilities and his desires more, and it was more exposed because Rian Johnson knew how to write character arcs. And it just, like, seeing this movie, it was just so sad. Like, him just, like, his interactions with Rey, obviously didn't want to kill her, but like, he barely had any dialogue. Poe had more screen time than him. He is the last Skywalker. His whole family, so Han, Luke, Leia, all sacrificed himself to bring him back. It's so dumb. He finally breaks free of like Palpatine and everyone. So he finally is redeemed. He goes back, he saves Rey. Literally, he has like this Han Solo moment where he's like shrug. You know how Han Solo like shrugs? He's like bows and then takes out the Knights of Ren. And like, okay, that was great. But like, and then they just like, Palpatine just zaps him, takes him away from the Force. Okay. So then he gets yeeted into a pit because Palpatine is like, oh, this is what Skywalker did to me, so I'm going to do it to them. I'm like, what? It's literally so ridiculous. And his last line in the film is ow when he hits the chain. Like, okay. And then Rey, because Rey is the most powerful. This is what I didn't like about Endgame, is it's like, they took away all of these other power, like, they really demoted Thor to make Iron Man, even though Iron Man's just a man, and Captain America so powerful. My thing is that they did the same thing. They, like, made Kylo Ren, like, I was happy when he, like, defeated Rey, like, finally, like, kicked her butt, because I'm like, this girl can't win all the time. That's just not relatable. You don't want a character to win all the time. But, like, when Leia died, and then she literally stabbed him, I was like, oh, like, are you kidding me? That's so ridiculous. And then she heals him and she's like, I want to take your hand. Okay, that was like the only good point. Okay, right? Like, yeah, we know you want to take her hand. So then that showed like a tiny bit of romanticness. So that when like the end, when Rey like defeats Palpatine, she's just like, I have all the Jedi in me. My thing is that the fact that they're like, rise, all the Jedi are like, rise, Rey, blah, blah, blah. They don't give, so you're saying that nobody cared about Ben Solo, like, at all. So the comics and stuff that is released in canon has shown that Ben Solo has been manipulated and abused mentally by Palpatine his whole damn life. And then so no one cares about him at all. So they just let him go to the dark side. Leia's like, oh, I know my son will turn, so let's have this lightsaber and give it to someone who's ready to complete my path. Oh my god, so she gives it to Rey because her son's not good enough. One, like, none of his ancestors talked to him, so that's just dumb as hell. So they just left Ben. Ben is terrible. Ben is trash. That's all that JJ cares about. He don't care about Ben. He just cares about Rey. Rey's the best damn thing ever. And then so Rey, all of them are so like, rise, Rey, which is also super cheesy. All of it is super cheesy. So then she defeats him and he's like, I have all the Sith in me. I have all the Jedi. So cheesy. Like, this dialogue is like literally the worst. And then she disintegrates him and she dies. Okay, whatever. But when you see Ben crawl out of the pit and then crawl to her lifeless body, because Adam Driver's a good actor, and then he takes her and heals her. All right. He finished what Anakin started because, like, he was able to save someone, bring her back from the dead. All right. But the fact that they kiss and then he dies immediately after, like, it literally shows that Ben Solo was paid dust. It was literally a joke. I am so frustrated with this. That was the last Skywalker, so you did not care. Han Solo died basically for nothing, so they were redeemed. So Leia, Han, and Luke. Luke helped. Ryan set it up so that Luke could kind of like talk to, like, see you around kid to Kylo. No, he don't give a shit no more. Luke just had to come to Rey and be like a video game character and be like, oh, you need to continue her story. Like, all right, thanks. Leia, like, died. And the fact that Leia's body didn't disappear immediately and Ben's body disappeared, they had to disappear together. It makes no sense that he wasn't a Force ghost. And like, kind of shows that they were kind of tied together. Okay, fine. And also Rey's body, to be fair, didn't disappear immediately after she died, so. But the fact that he just died is unnecessarily tragic. One, it's not only bad for Ben Solo, because he had his whole life in front of him, And to see someone just die, the people in my theater literally laughed because it's just so ridiculous. Like, oh, okay, so this guy's redeemed, and then he just, whatever. You know what I mean? And he was the last Skywalker. So then what happens is Rey just doesn't, Rey doesn't warn him at all. She just hops out of the damn thing. Like, she just hops out of her X-Wing, happy, oh my god, Finn and Poe, and then she goes to Tatooine. This made no sense. This is the point that this movie went from god-awful to literally, the devil put this movie on this planet to specifically torment me. She goes to Tatooine. She is like just walking around, buries the lightsabers, alright. And then this lady walks by and for some reason wants to know her last name, like she cares. Like, would she care? Rey who? Skywalker. The amount of gagging I did in the theater when I saw that, ugh, God. So you're saying that Rey literally went in a fucking circle. She literally went in a damn circle. She started in a desert planet alone and ends in a desert planet alone. It's called a character arc, not a character circle. It literally was a damn joke. At this point, like, if they continue on with this crap, I honestly, like, there can never be another movie. I don't care. I will never watch it because it's the rise of freaking Palpatine. Palpatine won. So the Skywalker sacrificed his life so that the Palpatine descendant could live and then take over the name because, she basically wanted to be the replacement child instead of Ben. Like, I guess that's what the narrative was. So JJ basically wrote her to be a damn psycho because she wanted like Han Solo and Leia to be her parents. So she had a boyfriend basically, loved this guy, but because she initiated the kiss, okay? And then he saved her. And then she's like, you know what? I'm just going to take over your life and just be adapted in the Skywalker line. And, like, alright, she didn't care shit that he died anyway. And it's like, okay, so whatever. Doesn't make any damn sense. Like, the perfect ending would have been if Rey and Ben got together because one, Kylo was finally stopped being tormented by Palpatine and he could have his own family and like with Rey because his family died and his family like just obviously didn't give a crap about him. Like this is what this movie showed. But like Han cared, you know what I mean? Like they have that same whatever, okay. But like this movie, like, you know what I mean? Like, he could have finally had his contentment with someone and not be lonely anymore. Rey is now lonely again. She could have been with Ben and had contentment. And she kept looking at children and then had her own little family and just had a nicer life and her just defining her own legacy. And then she could have been a Skywalker through marriage. Okay? That could have been what it was, you know? And that would have been much better. But instead we got this, which is literally like an ID network TV show version of Star Wars, which is just utterly just horrendous and I just hated it. And it was absolutely horrendous. I'm just gonna say also that Finn's storyline of him being force sensitive would be okay if it was explored. It needed to be explored more though, let's be real. Two, the fact that like Jana and Rose were like, oh, okay, like they were just there, alright, whatever. So like those are just like too many characters. Oh, I can't go on this because like whatever. Then there's the thing that Finn might be in love with Rey, like, we've been there, done that, okay, no. And it wasn't clear to the audience. So maybe he wanted to tell Rey he's force sensitive, but whatever, just dumb. So in the whole movie, like he was just worrying about Rey. He had like really barely any agency of his own. Poe, okay, he went with Rey with Zori Bliss or whatever, and he literally was a drug dealer. So okay, thanks. His past life, okay. Leia, all her scenes were just really like kind of creepy, and then they used CGI Leia, so JJ lied to the family. Because CGI Leia was there. That's really annoying. Okay, so, and also I don't really think that Carrie Fisher would have liked being in this movie because it's an utter shit show. When Luke came back, he was literally like a damn video game, like, oh, hello, this is like your next step, blah, blah, blah. Okay, he's like, we knew you were Palpatine. What? Okay. So they knew Rey was a Palpatine and they knew she could be totally darkness, but totally dark. But then Luke almost killed Ben. Make it make sense. Doesn't make sense to me. I just came and like, I'm just gonna end this video here because there's so many issues with this movie, but it just was utterly a trash heap. And like, I know I'm not as coherent, but I'm just so mad. I've been mad for 4 days about this movie. I haven't even been sad because there's nothing really to be sad about because it's just literally a disaster. So I would give this movie a 2 out of 10. That's what I said. I think I gave it 1 point for Adam Driver and like 1 point for redemption actually happening. I guess that's at least something that happened. And then also a point for a Reylo kiss, I guess. That's it. So that's my review of the Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, please follow me on my other social medias if you want to see me around Europe. I am gonna be leaving now, and yeah, so see you guys later. I hope this movie doesn't get you too down, and yeah, so bye guys. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already.